Good afternoon, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And I was just thinking about, studying for this and researching this early that a lot of us are not preparing ourselves for retirement. I know right now during these trying times of your finances and your resources that you're probably not thinking about retirement. You're thinking about today, you're thinking about tomorrow, but you're going to live through this. You're going to survive through this, okay? Excuse me. You're going to live and you're going to survive through this, and you're going to try to figure out what the hell happened to my 401k. What happened to my 403b? What happened to my Roth and traditional IRA? What happened to my savings? What happened to my emergencies? And of course, the answer to that is COVID-19. That's going to take a lot of your savings and a lot of your retirement away, because we know that the federal government allowed us to go inside our retirement account to survive, because evidently we're not getting any sort of second stimulus anytime soon because of political reasons, okay? I'm not going to get into that, but we need to understand that you first and foremost have to think about today. You have to think about tomorrow, but most importantly, once this is all over and you start to get your finances back on track, you have to think about tomorrow, okay? You have to absolutely think about tomorrow. And if you're not thinking about tomorrow, then you're going to be up shit's creek, quite frankly, okay? Not to cut any cards with you guys. You need to start thinking about tomorrow, because if you're getting a little bit money in, meaning that you have enough money to pay all of your essentials, all of your bills, your food, this, that, and the other. And if you're taking that money going shopping, bad for you. If you're taking that money buying gadgets, bad for you. If you're spending that money on entertainment, bad for you. If you don't have any sort of discretionary cash that you're not applying to your finances, your investments and your savings, and you're using that discretionary cash in order to go and have fun, because I've been in the house too long. You have all of these reasons why you should go out and spend wads of money, which I see people do. I'm like, are people hurting as bad as I think they are? And granted, I know that a lot of people in my community where I'm from in DC, they are really hurting. Okay. They're really hurting because of being furloughed, laid off, fired, quite frankly, whatever the case is. And there are certain situations, there are still a lot of Americans, over 40 million Americans not doing so well. Now, as far as unemployment, they're talking about 20 million, but we know that's double the amount. Okay, you're never going to get the true numbers from the media, but it's double the amount. So it's around 40 million Americans really not doing as good as they should be, or simply just barely surviving. Okay, barely surviving. But I see a lot of people out here spending a lot of money, and hopefully we're worried about our future. We're worried about our future. So what are some of the things that can actually help you prepare for your future? Good afternoon, Miss Curly Girl. Good afternoon. Where have you been? You are a horrible moderator, young lady. I know you living your best life. I'm just messing. I know you got your business going on as well. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. But nonetheless, let's talk about 401ks and 403bs. Now, I want to introduce you to this company that you guys may not be familiar with. And I got this out of the Unshakable book by Tony Robbins, and I had to do a lot of research before I absolutely introduce this to you guys. But we have to think about this. If you don't have a 401k with your organization, with your company, the first thing is, if they do have a 401k or 403b and they're going to match you 3, 4, 5%, please, before you opt into that 401k, the number one question is, do they have hidden fees? Do they have hidden fees? Now, granted, I'm not affiliated or associated with America's Best 401k. I'm just simply giving you the information as I always say. Now, what I love about this site, quite frankly, is this tab right here, Find My Fees. And I'm going to show you here. They have this, they break down how employers get kickbacks from 401k planners, from investors, okay? Which is very, very important. Let me make sure you see this. Here we go. That you actually see this. And they break down how much, money did these guys actually get back off of your 401k. Now, some of you who are not probably, math or mathematicians or savants in the math area, you may not understand that some of these percentages, but they're quite huge if you do your math. Now, let's break this down a little further when it comes to your 401k, okay? So it says here, if your current provider is on the list, we can likely reduce your fees by 40% or more. So some of these providers, ADP, American Funds, Ascensus, AXX, BAM, Kane Waters, Edward Jones. A lot of you have Edward Jones. I see Edward Jones everywhere. They're saying that they can lower your fees, which increase your savings and increase your investments, okay? That's what we need to understand. All of these are tangible things when it comes to money and percentages. Empower, Fidelity Garden, John Hancock, July Business, Lincoln Financial, Mass Mutual, Merrill Lynch, Mutual of Omaha, Nationwide, One America, Paychex, Principal, Prudential, Securian, The Standard, Voya, and of course the notorious Wells Fargo. That America's Best 401k is going to absolutely lower your fees. Okay? They go through very, very simple steps for you to lower your fees. Now, some of you, this is what you did. This is what you did. You went inside your job. They say, hey, we offer 401k and we match up to anywhere from 3 to 5%. You say, yeah, I want to do that. I want to invest for my retirement. And that's all you did. They gave you some maybe electronic documents or some paperwork and you just signed it. Like, this is for your 401k, okay, and you signed it. You did not read the fine details. But this is what I love about America's Best 401k. Let me tell you why. It says right here, and I love this, attention employees. If you want to tell your employer to uncover the fees of your company's plan, click here. Because a lot of these organizations and businesses have hidden fees out the yin yang, okay? Have hidden fees out the yin yang, and they're going to help you. They're going to help you to talk, okay, and negotiate to get those hidden fees because they don't want to let you know about those hidden fees. Furthermore, I like this list that we're about to go over, okay? Let me get this out the way. It keeps popping up. Get on my last nerve. All right. This is what I love so you guys can see this in a very compare and contrast and chart sort of way, okay? And it says here, the first column is America's Best 401k. The second column is your typical provider, especially those that they name inside that list. Okay, brokers. When brokers are a part of your 401k, they get commissions. Okay, they get commissions anywhere from 1% to 2%. And they say, and even if they kind of straight up forward with you, like, yeah, that's 1% commission. But when you really see how much you get return on your 401ks, they're going to tell you, yeah, you're going to average anywhere from 7 to 10%. Totally false, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people with 401ks, you know how much they get on their savings and investing? 3%. Now, because you only, first of all, your brokers are getting 1%. Then you have all these hidden fees. I did a video a while back, and I just can't remember all the information I gave out. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, they're going to take away 4% at the end of the day. And you're only going to receive like 3% out of the 7. Okay, you're only going to receive 5% out of the 5, out of the 10% that they're talking about getting you. So let's go over the chart very quickly because I have some more information to actually cover. Eliminate commissions, you bet. And of course, your typical providers, they want their money. Eliminate the inclusion of proprietary funds, of course. Okay, again, that first column is America's Best. The second is those primarily listed inside that list. Low-cost index funds. And they tell you, we use a core list of low-cost index funds with no markups. But your typical providers, like your Wells Fargo, people like that, your mutuals, all of those guys, index funds not offered to small plans. They love to use what? Mutual funds, not index funds. They have low expense ratios. They like to use mutual funds even with those associated. And these are actively managed mutual funds, which incur what? Ding, 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 ding. Taxes. You don't want taxes, okay? All right. Investment advice for plan participant. One-on-one demand advice for participants, and then they only educate you. See, advice is like, I believe that you should go in this direction, where education is more like you read a bunch of stuff, you're like, oh, okay, what does that mean? But you don't have any answers, okay? Then fees, 50 to 70% less on average. And then your average annual fees of your typical providers, anywhere from 1.4 to 2.5% according to their research, okay? So I just want to make you familiar with this particular site. And here's another thing, and I'm going to go over this a little bit later in the video. But if you are part of SEP, you're self-employed, you can also use America's Best 401k, okay? So that's very imperative for you guys to know. All right, let's move right along. What's some other great saving entities for you guys? You can claim double on your retirement contributions, okay? You can claim double. And that's what a lot of people don't know, especially for people who are teachers, healthcare workers, public sector, and nonprofit employees. You need to look into that because you can contribute up to like an extra almost $20,000 to your retirement plan accounts, okay? Let me move along because I have some more information here. What about your IRAs, whether it be Roth and traditional? Now, we understand that basically your Roth IRA is the money that you are contributing to your individual retirement account, and it's going to be taxed before the money is actually invested, which is a great thing because the money you see in your account is the money that you'll receive versus traditional IRA is not going to be pre-tax. It's going to be taxed when you take the money out. And ladies and gentlemen, as we can tell, even though presidents and senators and congressmen, you go through all these tax benefits and tax breaks and tax credits, nonetheless, taxes for every state, taxes on the federal level continue to rise year after year, 4 years after 4 years, term after term. It does not matter. Taxes will continue to rise. That's why I always love to push people into Roth IRAs. Now, there is a cap for married people and single people, okay, when it comes to Roth IRAs. There is a ceiling. Okay, so if you make as an individual, okay, if you make as an individual anywhere between 196 to 206, okay, that you can't really use a Roth IRA. The adjusted gross income, your AGIs, that's what I'm talking about. A phased out contribution range for Roth IRAs for married people is 196 to 206. And for single taxpayers and head of household, if you're making 124 to 139, you may not even be able to contribute. But if you do with a traditional IRA, there is no income ceiling. There is no income ceiling because they're like, go ahead and put that money in there. We're going to tax you when you take it out. They're going to tax you when you take it out. So be very, very cognizant of that. Now, a lot of people ask me why I moved to Texas. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, you have to retire in the right state. You know, you guys absolutely love the state that you live in. You love New York. You love California. You love Georgia. You love Alabama. You love all of these states. I know. But let me tell you some of the best states to retire in. The best states, in my opinion, to retire in. First of all, Texas. I'm from Washington, D.C. I'm in Texas. So Texas, Florida, Tennessee, South Dakota, Wyoming, Nevada, and Washington. And Washington, believe it or not. Why is that? Because these states that I named have no state income taxes. They have no state income taxes, okay? Now, New Hampshire and Tennessee, they do tax dividends and interest, okay? But fortunately for retirees, most states do not tax your Social Security if it's afforded to you, okay? But you need to do your research in all of those states and see what's best for you. In my personal opinion, out of all those I named, your top three, in my opinion, should be Florida, Texas, and when it comes to the job market, Washington State, believe it or not. There's a lot of opportunities in Washington State because outside of California, there's a lot of Fortune 500 companies or your top 100 companies listed in Washington State. Like, just to name a few, you have Boeing out of Washington, Amazon out of Washington. What's that other travel company? I believe it's Orbitz or something like that that's out of Washington. What's the other one you have? There's another huge company. But you have Ocean Spray. You have a division of Ocean Spray that's in Washington. But believe me when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of huge companies in Washington State. So whether it be reduction in like food price, land, houses, the cost of living, your Texas and Florida. But when it comes to job opportunities, and also one of the best states to retire in with no income state tax is Washington. But you're going to ask me, well, why in the hell did you move away from Washington? Well, cost of living is cheaper in Texas. And if you notice, if you look up the trend of a lot of people from California moving from California to Louisiana and Texas because the cost of living is cheaper, which is kind of retroactive because it's now driving up the cost of living in Texas up because they're bringing in more money and they're not paying payments on their house. They're just paying for their house, okay? Because they're like, listen, I sold my house that I paid for 15 years ago for $400,000. Now it's worth $1 million, and I only owe $200,000 on it. So they're coming in here with $800,000, buying a home for $200,000 or $300,000. They're sitting on $400,000 to $500,000. They're like, I'm retired, and they're going to invest a portion of that, open up a little side business or side hustle, and they're living great. Okay, so before Texas get too expensive, before Florida gets too expensive, you might want to look into it. Now, granted, everybody can't fit in Atlanta, family. And believe me, Atlanta is getting expensive. Atlanta is packed. You can't even drive. People laugh on me because I love my scooter, but I can bet you I can get around Atlanta in my scooter. I bet you I can. So those are just some things I want you guys to think about, okay? But make sure you do all your research. Make sure you set up yourself. Whether you're going to retire in the Caribbean or Africa, or you're going to retire in one of those top 3 or 5 states that I actually named. Now, people who are self-employed, okay, you can do your solo 401k. And again, America's Best 401k is a valuable option for you, okay? Before I move on, let me read some of your notes here, or the only notes Miss Curly Girl is putting out. She said, I'm on my lunch break now. I have a question or comment put in. Okay. She says she loves Georgia, but Atlanta has been expensive. Indeed, that's because Atlanta is going to be essentially what California is for Black people. Atlanta is going to be the Black Hollywood. And thanks to Tyler Perry, him doing great and wonderful things and building what we can call it Bollywood. In Nigeria, if you look on your Netflix, they have a lot of African movies that I've been watching. And these are really great movies, guys. I think you should support Nollywood. I know they have accents, but they are us, okay? We are part of this sort of, I'm not going to get into it. I was about to go there. But go ahead and support Nollywood, okay? They look like you. They talk a little different, but the shows are somewhat relatable, okay? So, especially a lot of their action flicks. But Tyler Perry, I don't know what he's going to actually call the whole Atlanta sector. I don't know what he's going to call it, Bollywood or Tyler Perry Studios, which is called, or name it something, but nonetheless support those things, because that's why Atlanta is being very expensive, because a lot of people are moving to Atlanta. Now, health savings account. These are imperative because health savings accounts are tax deductible. Health savings accounts are tax deductible, and they're looked at like sort of a golden retirement planning opportunity. And the reason why I say that is because the money that you actually deposit, the money that you actually invest inside your health savings account, that's your HSAs, that you can deduct that from your income. So what does that eventually do? That puts you in a lower tax bracket, so you're not paying the amount of taxes you would off your regular income. So take, for instance, you have an HSA account, and throughout the year, you contribute $1,500. So what if you was on the cusp or the precipice of going into a lower tax bracket by $5,000, $1,000, or $1,500? You're going to drop in that lower tax bracket, meaning the federal government is going to tax you less. But listen, the health savings account is not only good for paying off medical bills, okay? Not only good for paying off medical bills, it's an investment that can actually grow. And what a lot of people do not understand is after the age of 65, you can take money out your HSA and use it for anything. Now, up until that date, you have to use it for medical costs. And believe me when I tell you the amount of money that people pay in medical costs, it doesn't even matter if you have medical insurance or not. Okay, medical insurance or not, because quite frankly, I think we owe $1,500 here in medical costs. You know, you go to emergency room visit to get checked out. They charge you for every single thing. They charge you for sitting down. They charge you for walking into the room so they can take your blood pressure. They charge you for putting a thermometer and taking your oxygen blood level. They charge you for every single thing. So we owe $1,500, and an HSA account can actually help you with those bills. And then if you have residual money, especially at the age of 65, you can use that for anything after that, okay? So we have to really understand how to properly use an HSA account, a health savings account, which is very imperative, okay? Also, we need to start benefiting. When you get to the age of 50, did you know that you can contribute more to your IRA? Did you know that? To your 401k and your 403b? Not so much your IRA. Let me take that back. But mostly your 401k and 403b. Because you can actually, what's the amount I'm looking for? You can do $6,500 for a catch up on top of your regular amount. No, I'm sorry. So if the regular amount is $5,500, you can do $6,500 catch up. You have to be 50 and older to do so. So ladies and gentlemen, you really, truly need to understand the way to start investing for your future, because guess what? No one's going to take care of you. If you are planning for your kids to take care of you, watch and see. See, your little Daryl, your little Tyrone, your little Dante, your little Kwame, your little Muhammad, nope, they're not going to do it. You come up from a traditional family where when you get older, the kids take care of the elderly inside of the home. Nope, thank you, social media, for destroying that dream. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to think about you. You have to think about you, and you have to start absolutely right now. These are harsh words because I don't want anybody thinking that their kids are going to take care of them. You have no idea what your kids are going to do. They could be 10, 15, 20, 25. You have no idea what they're going to do. You don't know the next year, 2 years, 3 years, another man, another woman come in their life and change their whole perspective, or quite frankly, the economy. They're like, Mom, Dad, I can't take care of you. Do you have any money to contribute to this household? And you're going to be like, what? I'm your mom. I'm your dad. I'm this, I'm that. What? I'm telling you, you have to start saving for your future right now and not have a dependency mind frame. Do not depend on your kids. Do not depend on your family. And the reason why I want you to think that way, because of the word if. If. Now, your family may take care of you. Your kids may take care of you. Your significant other may have enough money and or benefits to take care of you. But the one thing that I want you not to end up saying is, why didn't I think about my future? Why didn't I think about me? Because the big word that a lot of you don't want to come to terms with is if. If they don't take care of me, what's going to happen? If no one says they're going to take me inside their home, if. What if this happens? And I want you to eliminate the word if and start saving for your future right now. Whether it be a high yield savings account, please start. A 401k that doesn't have any hidden fees. Make sure you read the fine print with your organization, and make sure you get involved with a 401k plan that your organization does not get kickbacks. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not gonna name Wells Fargo in this. I'm not going to name Wells Fargo in this. What if your company is in bed with a company that offers 401k for its employees? Like, take for instance, when I was with Amazon, they was in partner with Fidelity. And take for instance, because they got that contract with that particular investment company, that they offer them kickbacks on the percentages of the money you invested and the money of your return. You heard of the term ROI, return of investment. So take, for instance, you put in 10% of your paycheck every month, right? And out of that 10% in invested money, the fees that Fidelity, Wells Fargo, whoever's going to charge you to operate your account in commission and other hidden fees takes away, let's say, so you're up to 15%, they take away 4%. Now they offer your company kickback. That kickback money is not coming out their pocket, it's coming out of yours. So now you had 10%, and then all of a sudden you're getting 7%. This is how they scrape money off of your hard-earned working money off the top. So make sure off your 401k that the company is not getting kickback, one, and two, hidden fees. Also with your 403bs, okay? And make sure that you have some sort of individual retirement account, whether it be Roth IRAs or traditional IRAs, okay? So let me read your notes. Hopefully I gave you some insight that you absolutely need to start saving for your investments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Like and share this video for those who you know have not prepared for their future, and they should. All right, Miss Curly Girl says, this is why I live in Savannah. My buddy is actually from Savannah. And she says, I love Nollywood movies. I do as well. Health savings accounts are tax deductible. Indeed, they are. That actually helps you out with taxes. And thank you guys for joining me today. I thank you for all the support you've given to this channel, and hopefully you will continue to support. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. And ladies and gentlemen, please start thinking about yourself and start saving for your future today. I'm out.